far, the most popular video on my YouTube channel has been about this garage gym. And I posted that video a few years ago, and since then, across all of my social media platforms, I have gotten so many questions about just the items that I have, how I installed it, where did I find certain things. So I figured I'd make an updated video today to share with you guys what are the 3 essential things that you need in your garage gym, and some updates on a couple new pieces of equipment that I bought throughout the last couple of years. Garage gym because I don't like to have a lot of equipment all throughout the space. I've seen some garage gyms that have literally like a path that you have to walk through just to get from equipment to equipment. I want to make it as simple and easy as possible. I don't need all the other equipment. If I can do modifications, it saves me money and it saves me some space. So the entire center of my gym is open. And that allows me to have multiple clients in here at one time. It allows me to put a car in here when I need to, and it just makes cleaning a lot easier. The 3 things that I recommend that you have in your garage gym, or things that you need to start thinking about if you are going to set this up yourself. Number 1 by far is going to be the flooring. Now you'll see that a lot of people will probably recommend horse stalls. You can get those at your local Tractor Supply. Right now, the way I have it structured, I think that the puzzle pieces is what I like to call them. They're a lot easier to move around because horse stalls are pretty heavy. So if you don't have someone to help you bring them home and like lug them in, and then on top of that you do have to cut them, and even just putting their feet on it, they get all these little footprints. That would drive me insane. I don't have the energy to deal with that. So I personally don't have them. It is kind of foamy, so it really does protect my floor. We do a lot of deadlifts on here, and I've never had a cracked foundation or any of that. So this is a really good quality. However, you know, during the heat of the summer, when I don't have like the AC on and stuff, it kind of like lifts up and it stretches out. So that's one thing. You may have to replace a few of them. What I did is when I bought enough pieces for the puzzle, I bought a few extra packs just so that I can have them and replace as needed, especially if like something falls on it and it cuts it, or you know, they stretch out or whatever. It's lasted me about 3 years, so I really can't complain. From an aesthetic standpoint, I really like the light, airy vibe. I feel like everyone is going for that black gym, but I love white, I love gray. I made this wall pink not too long ago, so I wanted to have more of a light and open feel. We've been doing deadlifts on them and like, you know, slamming things, and there hasn't been any issues so far. The second most important essential that you need to think of before buying any equipment, especially if you live in Texas, is an AC unit. I know that for some people this may be a luxury, and I've seen a lot of people have garage gyms with like a fan. Y'all are crazy, because if you live in Texas, you'll understand that that just doesn't sound reasonable for like at least 25 to 30% of the year. Not to mention the humidity that we have to experience. So I bought this on Amazon. It's called a mini split. It comes with a remote control. I mean, it technically does heat too. So when it's really, really cold, I can turn this on. Now, the only problem with this is it is DIY. So you don't have to like get it installed by a professional. Although I do recommend you kind of know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing, but I did have my family help me out putting this in. You do have to make a hole in your wall, and you have to like, the outside unit is on a little shelf that he built, and I'll show you what that looks like. But it does take a little bit of work to like understand how to do it. But once it's set up, it's like I don't know how, I don't think this would even be possible without that. So I highly recommend it. Now, if you think that that's too technical and too overwhelming to even consider, you can buy those like portable AC units, and I've linked some of those as well within the Amazon storefront. I will say that in the middle of the hottest part of the day, which is gonna be like that 4, 5, 6 p.m. when it's like 105 degrees outside, this guy is barely, it's working. It's working, it's a little hard out, okay? But he struggles a little bit. So it's still a little bit hot during those parts of the day, but keep in mind that this is like the hottest summer that I've experienced with this AC unit. I've had it for 3 years and I haven't had any issues the last few summers. Keep in mind also, I did pay someone to come and blow insulation in I have like this little attic situation here in my garage, and we put some insulation up there to try to like make it feel a little bit more closed in, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'll share with you guys the links below, and I think that this is extremely important to have. I don't think it's something that you should wait on, because if you're anything like me, if it's too hot in there, like I'm not gonna wanna work out. And what's the point in having a garage gym if you're not gonna work out? Now I know that you wanna sweat and the whole point of it is to be sweaty, but like if it's feeling like 90 degrees, 100 degrees in your own garage, it's just not my vibe. But up to you guys. I also included a couple more lights in here. I bought these from Sam's or Costco, and they're like Honeywell, and I installed more lighting because it was really, really dark in here, and it just, again, wasn't the vibe, because if you have your garage door closed and you have your AC running, you don't want to be working out in the dark. So I did install a couple more of those. So if you could find someone who could do all of that at one time, those itself did not cost more than a few $100s. And yeah, you're gonna be set up pretty much. It is, again, a nice luxury to have in your garage gym. It may cost you a couple grand to like complete that, but without good lighting and without a good AC, like what are you doing? And you can do this with like a 1-car garage as well. And then if you have a 1-car garage, you don't need this kind of AC unit. You can get the portable one, and I think it still does its job. So there you have it. Now on to the third essential that you need in your garage gym, the equipment. This guy was not in our gym last time around in the video. I think that it's really great if you're a beginner, because you don't need to be super critical about the equipment that you have if it gets the job done. And the way I see it is getting a full cable functional trainer is great and all, but it's pretty expensive for what it is. But the thing I like about this is not only can I do lat pull downs, chest, but I can also do leg extension. I can do, you know, all the same things that I can do with a functional trainer. There are a few limitations to this guy, but for the price, I just cannot beat it. It was like $500 when I purchased it, and it's lasted me like 2 years. So I highly recommend it. I haven't done a lot of maintenance on it or anything. I think it really works out great, especially if you're a beginner, and especially if you're someone who's not lifting a whole lot. Now, if you're a dude and you're trying to pump out like 400-pound lat pull downs, I don't recommend this piece of equipment necessarily, but you know, I think for the average woman who is lifting, I think that this is such a good piece of equipment. This again was like $500, maybe $600 with taxes and delivery. You just can't beat it. The weights are sometimes a little clunky, like the smoothness of the cable going up and down, but it's not enough to like justify going up in price. For me and my clients, I think that this, again, gets the job done. And the number one thing that we focus on is not cable to begin with. The number one thing we focus on is body weight and free weights. So we focus on dumbbells and barbell. Those are the 2 things I personally think make an entire workout program. Machines are great for certain things. Primarily, they're great for if you're a complete beginner, you have some limitations and you need some modifications, because what they do is they make you isolate one muscle group and you don't have to worry about the rest. For example, if you do leg extension, it does not require you to use your balance. It doesn't require you to like move your whole body around, right? It is isolated. All you're gonna feel is that leg going up and down, and you're gonna feel your quads. But if you do a front squat, which targets the same muscles, it's more of a compound exercise, right? So you have to engage your core, you have to learn balance, you use your glutes, your hamstrings, like all of that is being used in that one exercise. So to be honest with you, I think you're better off doing free weights and barbells instead of trying to get fancy equipment in your garage. Let me know if you want me to make another video about that, but compound exercises are literally the foundations that you need to build. And I think so many people who are just your average, what we call Gen Pop, general population, they don't need all the bells and whistles of equipment, right? They just need some free weights and to have good form. And if you're engaging your core and using good form on all equipment, you're golden. And that's how you're gonna build that strength and reach your goals that way. So if you are interested in any piece of equipment for your gym, dumbbells and barbell, I would say, like for me, I have 5 pounds all the way to 25. So if you can try to get that as your first set and try to get them on sale or through Amazon or something, that would be probably ideal. Once you reach 25, and you can start like adding weight to that. And you just need a stand for that. It doesn't take up that much space. And I put them against the wall anyway. So it stays out of the way. It's, pushed off to the side, and it doesn't take up too much space. The second piece of equipment was the squat rack. Now the squat rack is this guy from PRX Performance. I do think that buying a foldable one is way better than getting a cage. It just takes a lot of time to like build and put together. Like you do need to make sure that it doesn't fall or tip over at any point. So I think you do need to like screw them into the concrete, which is a whole nother situation. But if you get a foldable one, it's attached to the wall, so it is secured in the studs. This itself was like $400 when I bought it. I got the cheapest version of the PRX, and I have not had any issues with it. I really love it. I'm gonna show you a video right here of how it like folds up together. So although I've never needed to fold it up, it's honestly just more work than I need it to be. Like I just leave it like this, but you can if you need to, especially if you're in a one-car garage. Now there are a couple things that are nice to have that aren't like from an equipment standpoint, but you may not even be thinking about it. Number one, having some kind of storage for your own personal stuff, right? So that you don't have to see it all the time. I like that clean look, and anything that has doors, like this guy right here, that closes up, that's where I have like all of my decorations for Christmas, my yard stuff. My biggest pet peeve in garages is when they have like those metal shelves and like everything is just thrown on them, or they're up on the ceiling. Like I don't need to see them. It just looks cluttered to me. So that's something that you may not even be thinking that you need, but you'll want to have in the future. So if you're anything like me, I guess. The other thing that I think is a really nice to have, but it's not essential, is a fridge. I actually got a fridge because when I moved into this house, I purchased a Samsung fridge. It was like back ordered or something, and it took a long time to get here, so I bought a mini fridge, and that's where I kept all of my food for like a couple months. That mini fridge now is in my garage, and it's filled with water. So it is just a really nice touch to have that, not only for myself, but for my clients. I can put like wet towels in there, and like it's nice to have. The only other thing that I completely forgot to mention that I would consider kind of an essential piece of a gym is a mirror. And no, it's not for an ego boost, but it is important so that you're able to check out your form, make corrections to it, especially if you're working out by yourself. I highly recommend recording yourself every now and then, just so that you know if you're doing things the right way. Look at that video and then look at someone like on YouTube and see if your form looks the same. Like I literally feel like without a mirror, it would be so hard for me to work out, especially if you're a beginner. Usually having a mirror is like the only way that you know, because you're not able to like feel it yet. So as you can see, my entire idea of a garage gym is to keep it very simple, keep it affordable, keep it clean and minimalist as much as possible. Have just the essentials that you need to get a really good workout in without breaking the bank and without consuming an entire garage only to fitness. So you are able to bring your car in when needed in a hailstorm or something like that. It is really important that you guys make it comfortable, make it like your energy, your vibe, because you're gonna be the one working out in there. I think a lot of people, when they get into the inspo phase of making a garage gym, they wanna go out and buy everything. And then it becomes too cluttered looking at it, and you just wasted a lot of money. I can go on Amazon and I'll look up one piece of equipment, and then I'm like, wait, I need this, 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 and this. But then I have to stop, think back and be like, is this going to just make me spend money, or is it actually beneficial and necessary for my clients and for myself? From a business standpoint, like it's not gonna drive more revenue to me just because I have this piece of equipment. So why get it? If you have any questions on how to modify certain exercises just using these two pieces, like the dumbbells and the barbells, let me know. Because I guarantee you, pretty much all machines that you see in a gym can be modified at home in a compound way with dumbbells and barbells, pretty much, or body weight. You just need to do a little bit of research sometimes to like figure out how, but it's possible and it's been done. If you have any questions about how to create your own dream workout space, please let me know in the comments below. And please, please, please do me a favor and subscribe to this channel so that I know what kind of videos you guys are interested in and I can make more just like that. I'm also gonna share with you guys that video right here. So if you're curious about what kind of equipment I bought, I have like an in-depth view of every single piece of equipment that I use in this garage gym so that can inspire you to make some selections yourself. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.